To my co-host, one question that everybody might like, not everybody, maybe her gender. But I'm not trying to be like that. I'm not trying to be biased or whatever the case is. How do you keep believing when there's pressure from family, pressure to get married, pressure to work, pressure to keep coming? How do you keep believing? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another fresh episode of Big Sam Voice. 2025. 2025. For many, it was the year of God, I beg. While for others, God, I don't do it again. Like, it don't do me. OT, it is enough. Kilo day. Okay. Whether you're in the village of confusion or in the city of vision, we all had one thing in common, which is faith. When I say faith, I mean the hope that everything will align. When I say align, everything go mezebu. When I say mezebu, everything go work according to, first, your plan. Second, God's plan. Oh, wait. First, God's plan. Then second, your plan. It's Big Sam Voice, and on this episode, I'm not rolling solo as usual. How do I look, guys? Answer yourself. I don't even know. But on this episode, I'm not rolling solo. I have somebody to help make this space even better. Even in the Bible said it's not good for a man to be alone. I bet I lie. On this episode, we have somebody to make them ladies feel ladylike. And lastly, somebody to help drag the men a little bit. But Mafo, I got in her back. Welcome to the show, Jazzy.
Thank you so much.
Don't correct me about the name.
I was just about to do that. Hey guys, thank you for having me on this episode of the podcast. My name is Antonietta Kalunta. Family and friends call me Jazzy.
So welcome to the show, Antonietta.
Thank you.
How are you? You look beautiful. You look amazing. You look... What else can we say?
You don't look bad yourself. You don't look bad.
Say that again, please.
You need to see Sammy's complete fit. He's 7.
Thank you very much, Jazz. Don't make me blush. I cannot. No, it's too early for me to blush.
Okay.
You get me? Today, we're not just talking about faith. We're talking about 2025, your plan, the ones that you had that you gave up on, your resolution that you outlined that never came true. Now you dey vex for Papa God, you dey vex for your papa, you dey vex for your village people. Everybody they collect back to back. I call that transfer of aggression. But relax. This episode will help you understand why life is like that. And for us to, soften it up, let me let the lady say some 1 or 2 things about the year as well. Talk to me, Jazzy.
When we talk about the year, there's this whole... I know we've gotten to the place where I think New Year resolutions are not as big as they used to be, at least when I was growing up, because everybody has clocks now that it's like, when you write it, you will not get there.
Fact.
So for most people like me, they're very careful making plans. But you know that whether or not you create that vision board in your mind, there's that thing that you're saying, look, man, it would be nice for this to happen this year. There's always something, that you have in mind. And it's November. It's soon be Christmas. Did you hit it? Did you miss it? I think that's the conversation we want to have.
So let's dive straight to the updates, to the gist. And it's going to be a question and, answer situation. Like I said, she's not my guest, she's my co-host. So we're about to deliver premium show, premium entertainment, inspire you, and above all, if you've lost hope, we hope you get your hope back because things might still change. I know the pastor, but don't worry yourself. When I prophesy to you, when I deliver prophecy to you, everything will align. So when November and we have at least more than, let's say, 40 days, 50 days for the year to round up. And if you have given up already, trust me, have faith and believe that everything will work in line. I want to show the first question to Jazzy, and I'm throwing it with regards to what she first said, which is what if you write it down, you might not end up working towards it. So most of the time, you have to maybe just think about it That is a very,
Well,
very...
it's not very certain that if you write it down. It's just that sometimes things happen, life happens. I
happens
know
to me,
a lot of times when they say, oh, create a vision board, it always seems like, oh, when you create that vision board, it means that,
everything will work
you
out.
know, everything is going to work out. And so you now face, you know, disappointment year in, year out. And then you decide somewhere in your mind that, you know what?
I ain't doing this
chill.
anymore. And it's funny how with those written words or phrase or sentences or expectation, they end up becoming the beginning of your frustration, your depression, all of your problems. Because you wake up every god, like there was a time I think that was last year. I had all these sticker notes everywhere on my room. When I wake up, I sit there. January, I sit there. February, I sit there. I woke up and I packed everything because it was frustrating to see that I wrote this and they were not coming live and all of that. So I get a point now. Let me throw out my first question. How many of your 2025 goals actually survived till March? Tell me, Jazzy. Because for me, okay, respond first. How many of your 2025 goals actually survived till, let's say, March?
One thing about me,
Yeah.
I'm a fighter. So the ones that didn't survive, I tried though. Let me just tell you guys, I did my best. So I started the year really, really, really
Enthusiastic?
rocky. No, things were, I was enthusiastic about the year because at the start of the year, you know, they were talking about faith, even in church. So like I was, you know, daring to believe. But a lot of things just happened that beginning of the year. Even work-wise, things were not, you know, working. I'm an actor. And you know, as an actor, when you're not getting any
Gigs,
you're not even getting calls for auditions. That's before you know, so the year was really shaky. So most of the plans I had, because this year I wanted to do more acting. I wanted to do a book tour. So many things shelved. By the time it was April, you know, I started to say, okay.
It's funny how we kind of have this similar stories. I started 2025 very, very active as well. I was looking forward to a very interesting year, from branding to pursuing acting itself, to maybe finding purpose in general, because I'm that person that was trying to figure out what exactly I was doing. You get, I was just there. At first, I was in Lagos and I was just there. So 2025 was that year where I wanted to be like, you know what, Sammy, you know exactly what you want to do. And one of the resolutions I had for 2025 was stop using the F word, profane words. They were like fillers for me. I can just talk and say, God, you look fucking beautiful. I use God and fucking in the same sentence. Sammy,
we should pray for you. Kneel down now.
So pretty much that, and I wrote that everywhere in my room. My alarm system, every 1 hour, do not use the F word. Pin, 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 pin. I'm not even joking, Jazzy. I wake up to eat. I might be in a meeting and I'm talking to anybody and it just goes, do not use the F word and all of that. And I thought I was going to get a hold of it, because come on, I'm a man. I should be able to handle my situation. I should be able to, you know, navigate this path. But Nigeria will frustrate you. People driving on the road will frustrate you. Dispatch drivers will frustrate you. I cannot talk to them normal. I cannot say after keeping my package for more than the expected time, you know, come and I will not say, oh, don't worry, God bless you. Show why mini.
You say it now.
No, Jazzy, I lost that resolution. Yes, I did. So
don't be like Sammy.
No.
And I think this is a good place to say, you know how we get to points where we say, oh, this person made me do this. The person on the road, I think I heard it somewhere, and it was that whatever you do should be a reflection of who you are and not a reflection of who other people are. So if you're not someone who curses, regardless of how mad Abuja, I think you saw the clip on Twitter where the guy was storming, regardless of how crazy Abuja drivers are, whatever Sammy does should be a reflection of who Sammy is and not how crazy.
Talking about Abuja drivers, let me digress a bit. You've lived in Lagos before, Abi, correct? Let's compare Abuja Uber drivers and Lagos Uber drivers. What do you think?
To be fair, I would say Lagos Uber drivers take it as a serious profession.
You know that it is now work to the work, Abi.
Abuja Uber drivers, I think they feel like they're doing us a favor.
So why? Like you guys saw how
and we didn't rehearse this.
You get?
So like,
because I don't understand why I'm paying you my money. You're driving me to where I'm going to, and you're giving me attitude. Are you my boyfriend or my girlfriend? What's going on?
I'm not so sure why the system is like that. And I think it's I've been so frustrated. Sometimes it's even the AC. For example, I want to go for an event. I'm in heavy makeup. I'm wearing clothes that the AC is functioning, but Abuja drivers, I think they have a thing where they don't turn on their ACs unless they are hot. It's an unspoken rule that we've all come to agree that the ACs do not get turned on. And it's like, why? And why are we accepting, these things? Why are we letting it fly?
And the Lagos drivers will not tolerate this.
Yeah. And honestly, they are respectful once you come in. It's a job for them, and I think they treat it as such. I feel like the drivers in Abuja feel like, it's a side gig. So but I don't care. You went on
to the Uber drivers in Abuja, listen to me carefully, because I ain't joking with you all. Do your job well, please. Don't be rude to them ladies, please, because women go through a lot. You know how you just see leader and just first profile her first from the way she looks or whatever the case is. Relax, they're paying you their money. And I get that some people have really messed things up. Why? My point with that is this: some drivers are very, very frustrated. One, secondly, the passengers themselves are disappointed as well.
Yeah,
you get me. So it won't be fair if I say, okay, it's their fault in general. Let's balance the whole thing. I was telling the driver that now all of us, they go through this country together, regardless the level. You get me? Let's try to make it better from our ends first and see if it's better on our own ends, then we can actually pass it to other people. We can actually, transfer it to other departments, whatever the case, and let's make Nigeria better. Yeah. That's not the gist, but
and this really ties into what we're saying. What you do should be a reflection of who you are and not the other person. Fact. So if you're polite, if the other person is rude, when she gets down, you give her rating,
100.
And you report whatever has happened. But on your own end, we should all strive to ensure that we check out on our own end. So we're polite, regardless of how the Uber driver is acting, we do our best. And me, I've gotten to points where I feel like this is a very long ride. If I'm going from Garki to Gwarimpa and I feel like the energy is, I just say, you know what, I need to stop here and I'll get down.
Straight up.
So we don't even take that long trip together. We end peacefully.
So know yourself as a passenger and make sure you always decide. And lastly, be happy. Life no pass like that. Jazzy, so it's 2025 and for me, I moved to Abuja officially in 2025. Last year was pretty much NYSC, so I was 2 and 3 hours in town, back and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the whole of this year has been like that as well. But I told myself with faith that you are now an Abuja person. You get me? So I tell people that officially I'm in Abuja and this.
I think at this point we should play that song. What's that song that say Abuja?
I know that song. It's on TikTok. It's everywhere on TikTok. Yes, I am that Abuja boy. Whatever they said, it is me. You get? So Abuja, I had so much plans for Abuja. From creating content from the northern space to show to the world, not just Nigeria. The goal was to shoot northern stories and deliver it in a Western way. You know how you watch Roman movies, they're warriors and understand their culture, and we understand it. They don't speak English, correct? Like people from Rome and all of that, they don't speak English and all of that, and we understand whatever this is they're saying. That was a plan with Hausa stories. The goal was to go pick. You did a movie back in Zaria. What's it called again? When we were in Zaria, I forgot. Your first project was what?
The Milkmaid.
The Milkmaid. I saw the trailer and it was, at that age, for me, it was something that was literally the kind of stuff I wanted to do later in the future. You get me? I didn't want to do the usual YouTube. All those love and all of that. And it's okay because there are people that they have their audience. So I'm trying to build a niche with that type of story. That was the plan for Abuja. And secondly, Big Sam Boys, which is obviously, come on, you guys are watching right now.
Yeah.
Everything is falling in line with Big Sam Boys. And lastly, Settlement fully in Abuja. The honest truth is this year, the year started like this, went like this, and went like this. You get me? How I managed that was strictly my will, my choices, and my decisions. You get me? For others, everybody have a way they manage their situations. They might not exactly manage it the way Sammy does. You just might be quite different.
Different.
You get me? And that brings me to the question I want to throw out. What was the one unexpected plot twist this year that forced you to rethink everything?
I feel like this year came with like a surprise. It was like, oh, God planned something and he didn't even copy me that, oh, this is going to happen. I'm going to be very vague.
Tell me.
I'm going to be very vague.
That's fine.
But in 2024, I lost something that was so dear to me, and
this vagueness, that's not with on Big Sam voice. Let me tell you, Jazzy, I was going to ask you yesterday that, yo, Jazzy, will it be okay if you come and tell us about your life? Because at the end, it's Big Sam voice. You're my co-host and we want to talk to people. When I say talk to people, I mean, there are people in we grew up in Zaria. Yes. There are people in Zaria that that are looking up to us really. Facts. You get me? Young girls. I mean, I should make it about them ladies. Young girls. And if you want to be vague about, because with other podcasts here, everybody is always trying to look for this. There's nobody giving us the real gist.
Yeah.
And most of the time, we grew up in Zaria with no mentors.
That's one of the primary reasons why I formed my foundation.
And that's what Big Sambo is all about.
Mentorship.
Because we talk.
Yeah.
And we tell them, like, I have episodes that spoke about how I conquered statue, right, in details. How I got on the Big Brother show in details. I didn't pay anybody money. I didn't pay nobody money. It was me
Grace.
and God and obviously Grace and a lot of other episodes. You get? So with this particular episode, I really want us to talk. Yes, not in full details because everybody really watch this episode. I want to be all of them. We're all mad. You get? What I want you to be able to inspire that girl.
Yeah.
You get? So if you can be, it's fine if you want to be vague, but I want you to like be vague.
Mostly because I'm trying to respect all parties involved.
Okay.
So I think since you went back to Zaria, right? My friends and I, demo girls. 2020 was a year that felt so far for a 15-year-old Jazzy.
Okay.
So it was like I had Vision 2020.
Sharp.
2020, I was going to be married, but 2025, supposed to have my kids, like everything.
Sammy, which one? That was not part of your plan, Sammy. I don't understand. But let's go on, babe.
I had it all figured out in my head. And so by 2020, the real 2020, I was looking at myself and I'm just like, I'm just a girl.
Straight up.
I'm just a girl. What's happening? All of that. Obviously, it wasn't even something that I was so interested in anymore as a person. But at the time I was in a relationship. So that brings me back to what I was saying. I was in a relationship for 5 years and it ended in 2024.
Okay, 5 years.
Yeah. So it was like most of my formative adult years, I was in that relationship because it was from when I served. So it was like, where do I go from there? Starting over, I was just like, ew.
How did you cope with that? Because for a 5-year-old relationship, and just like that, bam, you're all on your own.
Honestly, it was hard. And I feel like the hardest part of coming out of a long-term relationship might not, always be, the romantic love aspect. Because for a 5-year relationship to end, it means it wasn't sudden.
Yeah.
It started going downhill. Yes. But I think what you mourn really is the friendship you had.
Connection,
so, you're talking to somebody every day and suddenly, that snaps. But I'm really thankful for like community, which is one thing I always emphasize. We need to have community. You need to have girlfriends. You need to have friends. You need to have church. You need to have people that, can hold you down, can check in on you when stuff is... I remember when it happened and I was feeling like, nah, I'm fine. But my friend was like, no, I'm coming to sleep over. And I'm like, there's no need. I'm okay. I actually needed that. So even when you feel like you don't need community, you do. So, that was early 2024 and the breakup happened and I was just like, you know what? It's not even like I was interested in getting married. So let's shelve all of this.
But I respect that and thank you for opening up and all of that. And like I said, it's not easy for you to just have this life after that because you're doing amazingly well. You get, regardless how the relationship ended. I know you guys must have had plans for the future together.
Yeah.
And this, and then you have to start, realigning your plans. Just you now. I'm just a girl, like you said, and all of that. Facts. I respect that. So well done. For me, Sammy, What was the unexpected plot twist this year that forced you to rethink everything? Facts. I wrote it here because I didn't want to forget it. I wrote, sometime what you pray for is already in front of you.
Exactly.
That was one plot twist that literally changed everything for me. I'm that person that will sit down and just be praying, God, help me, bring this. I will be doing it for like months. And God is like, what are you doing, Sammy?
It's available.
It's just in front of you. Just go and ask for your portion. And when I realized that hook, that hack, that whatever the case is, everything changed. I'm that person that, okay, after the show, I was not sure what I wanted to do in Jazzy. I'd never worked before in my life. Throughout in Zaria, I never did any job. It was just school, demonstration, ABU Zaria,
Wow.
all of that. I never did any job. You get me? So I was completely dependent on my parents. So from Zaria to the show, with that mentality, still naive. You get? After the show, I was in Lagos. 7 weeks after the show, I was in Lagos. Then what's next now? For a guy that has never done anything before. So I was always praying. Yes, I was out there partying and all of that. That was pretty much it. Taking nice pictures. But all those things will not give you food. You know, they feed person.
To not even feel your heart.
Trust me. You just go through the comment. I'm like,
in fact, those things will even add pressure to you because now everybody's expecting what next. People are saying, which gig you want to do next? What's happening next?
I got so exhausted and I paused for a bit because I was not sure what I was doing in Lagos. And I kept praying. Father, you cannot send me on this show and I am just here. Kilo Shele. Way forward now. Follow me, Soro. You get there are days I will pray with anger and cry. There are days I will say, I got no vex. My billion.
When you pray prayer of power, then you pray God I beg.
So it was back and forth and all of that until I realized that, you know what, Sammy, everything that you're praying for is already in front of you. And as soon as I realized that, everything changed. And I feel like 2025 was that year that I realized that taking all of those steps towards everything I have in mind made life. Yes, it's not exactly how I want it yet, but there is a realization. Yeah. And with realization comes what? Solution. Comes what? The next chapter. Comes what? A new beginning. So,
something that makes people not realize that stuff is in front of you is a level of discontent that comes from being an ingrate.
Okay.
So you're not really looking at the things that are working. Sometimes we just hinge on that one thing that we feel like, it's not working. And one of the things this year taught me is that, I can be content in what God has given me. I can be content in my lot. So I count, when we sang that song, count your blessings, we really need to do that.
One by one.
We need to do that. So I count all the things that, yes, are working instead of focusing on everything that isn't. And that's not to say, don't strive to be better. You will strive to be better, but you have to learn that you're not incomplete without something. God loves you the same. Your family and friends love you the same. There's nothing that you don't have now that makes you less of who you are. You're still Big Sam. And that's the one thing I always tell myself is that I was star girl before I acted any film. So the fact that I've not been on any set doesn't make me less of being a star. I'm a star because that's who I am.
Yes.
It's not because I'm in any movie. It's not because I'm going viral, And
so it's your personal perception about yourself.
Yes. Who has God told you are? Big Sam.
Ha! This episode, don't worry. Okay. One question with regards to what you said. Do you think God laughs when we make plans? Let's say too much plans. We sit down and we're just this year, I will buy this, I'll buy that. I'm God looking at it. Do you think that's the case?
I think God doesn't laugh. I think he rolls his eyes. because at least scripture says that the plans he has for us, we can't even fathom some of them. I'm sure if you reflect, you remember that there are some things that you wanted. And then when they happened a different way, they were even better. It means that you could not even have thought about a better...
Let me interrupt you again. So people keep saying, Sammy, why do you keep talking about Big Brother? And I'm like, make I not talk about Big Brother. Because at the end, my life started after Big Brother. I used to tell everybody that was better after Big Brother because prior to the show, it was like I said, I was naive. I didn't know.
No.
I'd never worked before. You get? So before Big Brother, I was a Zaria boy, and the plan was to, like I was talking to you before the show started, was to be what? A lecturer. I was studying.
And we need to
address it, yeah.
Yeah.
I was out there studying psychology and counseling, trying to, like, talk to people about their marital issues, bring people on their vocational choices, and blah, blah, blah. You get me? And I didn't think too big, because really, I'm just a regular kid in Zaria. I was not one of the top boys in Zaria.
Yeah.
I was just one of these people. No. Yeah, okay, if you say so. But the fact is, that was how I saw myself.
Yeah.
So I was not, when you say, I was just there. And I started praying about a shift, because my dad had retired. The main source of income was no longer available. The 4K they give me every month, make I manage. Why they carry go buy Maggi for bed? All of that level was no longer available. And I was the first son. How will I navigate this chapter? I started praying, because there was no uncle that would say, Sammy, come and take 10 million naira and invest in one business and all of that. There was no uncle that would say, Sammy, come and take 100K. So it's either God step in or I go see him where. Pepe. I had one option, and it's not like I had experienced God like that. I just knew that because you know how you hear testimonies and all of that. I just knew that, okay, when you follow up on God, it comes true. So I said, let me see if God will show up. I started praying every midnight at 12 midnight. I wake up in the night and I'll pray, and everything just felt. I never expected it. I think that's it. Yes, everything just fell in line, and I'm like, and that was why it was never a stress to get on the show.
Yeah.
I knew there was no maybe. As soon as I got through the Zoom phase, I knew I was going to get on the show.
Get on the show.
And I just stopped praying. I knew that was my power. That was my secret weapon. So I took that, held it very well, and then I moved. The person that auditioned me for the Zoom, I knew he's out there on one of the episodes, told me that because he told me to try again next year. Because my network was bad. I was using a Techno Pabo 3 at that time. So it was bad and all. So he told me, you know what, bro, you're not a serious person. Try again next year. The guy sent another email 2 days after and told me, final reschedule. You get? And the day he saw me, he told me, bro, I could not sleep. I said, how you want to take it? For my mind, I said, oh, really? But man, how you want to sleep?
Prayer power.
I just think, bro, Father, you will not lead me like this. My papa no guess. My papa, and I'll pray with fluent. I'll pray eloquently. I'll pray with pidgin. I'll pray with Igala. I'll pray with Hausa. Baba Katamekeni. I'll use Hausa Yoruba Hebrew you want. So it was that level. And so you see the way you're laughing right now, yeah? I feel like that's how God laugh when I'm out there doing my thing. Honestly, I'm not such a perfect person. If I talk about God, you think this boy is I get like 12 tattoos. I'm a church boy, but when you see me, you might just end up defining me by how you see me. You get me? And it's fine. Who really cares? It's me and my God now. Who really cares? For real, it's me and my God. So the responding to your plans might not exactly be what God has planned for you. That's how my life changed, because I wanted to just have a normal life, and God made me a star.
The life that you've seen.
God made me a star girl, and what? Big slam. I don't want to go to star boy. Because yes, Jazzy. Let's talk about faith and fear. Who really wins?
It depends on who you align with. You know, whatever you subject yourself.
I like how you made them very you individualize them. Faith, whoever you want to copy with, and all of that. Okay, talk to me. Yes.
We're not cursing now.
I apologize. Everybody, talk to me.
So whoever you stand with, whoever you give yourself, you submit yourself under, becomes Lord over you. And you see, fear is just as powerful as faith. Yes. I don't know if anyone here has read the book as an art student. We read Lord of the Rings. And when the children were always thinking there was a monster and their imaginations were creating things. If you remember when you were a child and they leave you in a dark room, your fear would make you feel like things are moving, somebody's there. True. That's how powerful fear is. It can create stuff, and that's the same way faith can create things. So it's left to you to decide, who are you going to align with? What do you choose? Faith or fear?
And to buttress on that, you know how with how almighty God is, He gave us power over one thing, which is what? Our will.
Our will.
The ability to what? Choose. So imagine, and the devil knows that. You get? So with what she has said, if you choose fear, fine. Fear will be lord over what? Your circumstances, your life, and all of that. And if you choose faith is not exactly what is. You will not wake up and just faith is not easy as well, but and that's why it's faith. To my next question, what scared you the most this year? Failure, delay, or the unknown?
I would actually go with the unknown because I was thinking about that, and I think one of the things that scares me, especially as it has to do with life, is not even that place where you get to and everything is silent.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure what to do. You're not hearing back. You're not, you're just in a phase where everything is silent.
I think, okay.
So for me, it's the unknown. Like, where do I go from there? At least if I'm hearing something, if I feel like, oh, there's something we're working towards, and maybe, it's not really working, I can understand. But what if, there's just that silence? And for me this year, it was, I went through a phase of like silence and like really squirming. But obviously, I have a key.
Okay. You know how it speaks some voice, and I can be very, very vulnerable to you, all my lovelings. Yes, and all of that. For me, 2025 was that year. It was the year I thought I had everything figured out. Facts. Like, I'm that person that I sat down in 2024. The last quarter, I didn't go nowhere to make plans for the year. Everything, plan, strategy, everything. Like, this is what I want to do for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and all the way to the last quarter. You get? And we started the year. I went for the crossover, and everybody, my God, you good though. All of that vibes. We had a good time in church, and I was ready to like kick off the year. And second quarter, all my plans, my strategies were literally just in front of me. So I would say delay. So it's not delay from a bad angle. I realized that after like a few months down the lane, I realized that I was in a school. You get? There were stuff I needed to learn for me to enter that chapter. After the show, I was naive. I had to grow out of naiveness. You get? And with being naive, a lot of mistake came on me, on my own end, because I did a lot of mistakes. Trust me. If I look back, I'll first laugh. I say, Sandy. Now, wow. You get? Like, I should not have done all of that. But, however, I learned from them. It's a learning curve. You get me? So, all the plans I have aligned for the year were big plans. And I would not want to jump into those. I don't think God wanted me to enter that level and still have a particular type of mindset.
Yeah, because for God, right, what I've realized is that it's not about where you get to, it's about who you become. It's character.
Yes.
Because character is what will sustain you when you get there. If you are just launched, you just carry, just drop you.
True. So I had to like either choose to work on myself or choose to be pissed and be angry about life. And when that comes, you literally step back from God. And if I leave God, in my language, emeta, it means my own don't finish. Because who else will have my back?
Yeah.
I don't give about love. Anyway, so there's no, I don't have all of those options. You get? So I chose to, it is because I'm still in that chapter. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get hold of what God is trying to do with I go through my plans every day.
Yeah, and what you even mentioned, it was, I think, Mr. Chris Delvan, I heard say, we always talk about, I'm going through a phase of delay. Who gave you the timeline?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you check properly, it's you gave yourself, you put yourself under pressure to reach somewhere. Mm-hmm. So like, sometimes just go through the process. You put in the work, you go through the process.
You might be out there wondering and saying, these guys don't know what we're talking about.
We know.
This. I know. Relax. See, look at my eyes. I know. The truth is this, yeah. It would never be easy. And that's why at the end, the story, at the end you will say, God worked it out for me.
Yeah.
That's why at the end you will say, no matter how bad it was, I conquered at the end.
Yeah. That's why sometimes we see some people come out and say, God did this for me. And sometimes you're thinking, all the things you did. But they know the places that they had lapses and it was God.
Yes.
It was God. So they cannot even take credit for it. You might not know, but people have gone through.
That's all. And allow them to keep talking. You just keep going on your grind.
Yeah.
Because at the end, your win is your win. And when you win, everybody sees it.
Yeah.
But you never see the struggle.
Yeah.
So sit down. It doesn't matter if we're in November. It doesn't matter if we're in December. Have what? Faith. Yes, ma'am. To my co-host, one question that everybody might like, not everybody, maybe her gender.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like that. I'm not trying to be biased or whatever the case is. How do you keep believing when there's pressure from family, pressure to get married, pressure to work, pressure to keep coming? How do you keep believing? Because I feel like, for instance, I should give you an instance now. Let me use a very common example. You are struggling to get into university. You've been writing jam back to back, and it's not just working out. It's not like you're dull. I know that people that have been in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
You write jam this year, and it's frustrating. Your last born don't come and enter university.
And you're there.
All of that kind of. Or for instance, now you are older and you feel like you should be married, and it's not just all the men that are coming as useless, useless men. And you're wondering what's going on. You say, okay, let me try and change this man. The next thing is influencing you, is giving you 3 bottles of what? Trophy to be sipping. All of that level, you get me? Of, let's say, family, for instance. Someone just roll their eyes. Then the scene, like, Sammy, 3 bottles of trophy. That level, influence. You get, or let's say family now. You're not just connecting with your mom or your dad. Or something. You're not just comfortable at home. And you cannot even sustain yourself outside of your home. How do you navigate situations like that?
For a lot of situations, I think the first piece, we can never overemphasize praying. For me, I can never overemphasize praying. And it always starts there. And the next thing, sometimes we feel like, oh, when you talk to God alone, that should end it. But God gave us community to help us. You should be able to have friends that you can talk about things to. I can share something with you and there's insights that you will bring as my friend that helps. And now I'm saying talk to friends that are responsible.
Yes, no go talk to parrots.
Friends that are responsible, because you're sharing things doesn't mean someone should go spreading it. And also you have to trust their sense of judgment. Yes, you have to trust, where they get information from. And so you're sure that they're sharing things. So for me, it's always, yes, community. When it comes to, obviously, me, I'm 28. So for most people, they'll be feeling like, oh, you need to be like, the clock is ticking. I've never been someone who is like, I have to get married, yada, yada. I'm not that person. But I know people put those expectations on you. Yeah. And one thing I have learned, you see marriage, as you're giving me is bad goose.
Yes,
yes, because I don't want you to make me feel like I'm less of who I am just because I'm not married. Yes. That's what I was saying earlier about not being incomplete because of anything you don't have. And that includes men.
Yes.
A man.
That includes what?
So, men. And so for the young girls out there, don't let them gaslight you. A man is a luxury, not a necessity. It is nice to have a man.
Yes, ma'am.
But you will not die without one. You're not incomplete without one.
Facts,
you are whole. God made you whole, single. You can accomplish things. You can do a lot. Your life is not hinged on... Because when people start almost hitting 30, there's just that pressure. I've seen friends, and where does that pressure come from? It's not really you. It's that people have started saying things to you like, what's happening? At home, they're asking you questions, aunties, everyone. But I think we need to get to the place where we stop putting those pressure on people. Because the one person who would like to fall in love and get married is the person involved. So if you're not seeing the person doing that, it means that, zip it up.
Pretty much zip. She said it how I wanted it to be said. And I bet that you guys understand exactly what her point is.
Yeah. But I also think on the male perspective, there's also that pressure. And it's a question I want to throw at you.
Okay.
Because, while for the women, we see, the pressure of, say, marriage, yada, yada. I see for young men, there's just, when they're hitting 30 and there's not some level of financial accumulation, there's just that pressure that starts to hit them. There's a level of depression. There's just, so how do you guys navigate that?
For me specifically, Sammy, I'm 30, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm 30, and I don't think I've ever thought about this, even as in because I've always been focused on my grind, trying to make sure that I get the life I want, trying to make sure that I am a man for my partner. I've never really sat down to say, you know what, think about your wife. Rather, think about the man you want to be for your wife.
Right.
You get? So when there's pressure, first, I never have family pressure at all. My mother is the most sweetest. My dad. So I don't with my dad, we're not close at back in the days, but right now it's my person. Because you got to understand that I got to understand that that man was actually a hero. All the pressure and everything, he was carrying them and all of that. And I didn't understand. But now, so we are cool. But for you out there that is wondering, Sammy, you no go understand. My mama won't kill me. I be 30 years old, blah, 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 and all of that. Bro, it's your life first. Realize that it is your life first. And it boils down to choices. Whatever you choose to influence that life is what is the reality you walk in.
Yeah.
She spoke about community as well. I don't have so much friends. So most of the time, if I feel if I feel down or depressed, I run to who? My person, who is what? God. So I'm that person that no matter how life is messed up for me, I will go and stay in one dark room and stay. I will cry and I will pray. Then I'll come out and laugh with you like I can never do anything.
Yes, if you let someone pressure you into making certain decisions, you're the one that will live with it.
Yes.
If you're so pressured to get married and then you eventually do it as a young man at a point where you don't feel settled to, you're going to live in that mess.
It's funny how...
and if you're delaying because also someone's pressure, you're going to be 50 and be taking your toddler to... So, do you?
Talking about being 50 and taking your toddler to school, I've always wanted to settle as soon as possible, like early, because I was not close to my dad because he was quite
older.
Old, like he was in his 40s or so, and I was just a boy. And there was no connection. So I told myself, Sammy, you go born picking ASAP or
young.
You get all of that. And I'm 30 now and there's still no baby. And I'm like, okay, Sammy, what's the plan? Is it a pattern? What is going on and all of that? And then I met this babe, real life story. She might be seeing this episode, sweet girl. She's not Nigerian and all of that. And we're connecting. I didn't want to be in a relationship at first. I wanted us to be friends because she was really sweet. Like, oh, she's a Sambi, and I'm like, I don't want to call. I can go call her name by mistake. You get? And we're connecting and all of that, and it moved from friendship to a relationship. She was older than me, well, I think a year or two, and she had a son. But all of that didn't really matter to me. I never thought I was going to connect with her at first, aside being friends. But then we connected, and all of that, and different life, different perspectives for life, and for some weird reason, it didn't work out. And then I literally suggested that I wanted space. And she said, okay, no problem, because it was now a lot. There was pressure on both ends. It was funny how I wanted to like settle this year.
Aww.
You get? And then I just stepped back, and when I stepped back, I realized that for the first time in my life, I realized that, okay, Sammy, you're actually in love, and you were heartbroken.
Oh no!
I don't want to cry right now because if I go back to all of those moments, if you notice, I'm not saying any bashing about her because she was really sweet.
Yeah.
She very, very, very intelligent, smart lady and all of that. But life put us in different spaces, and especially for me as the guy, I didn't know how to handle mine. You get? And I was always transferring all of those. And with women, you know how she didn't see me. I was very vague. I mean, I've been a Naija boy now. I know I was literally vague, and I like to be in charge as well. I'm that person that would want to, so if I cannot be in charge and I cannot, she was not pushing me around. Trust me. When I say in charge, I like to be like the man of the house. 100%. I'm a tall, dark-skinned Nigerian man that knows how to be a man. It didn't work out, and I was heartbroken, and I'm telling myself, Sammy, this was not Mario, but at the end, God's time is what? The best. So you brothers out there, not brothers and sisters, God's time is what? The best. Let your mother not pressure you. Let your father not pressure you. Thank you. Jazz, you want to say something?
No, I think you've said it aptly. If you follow someone else's pressure, if you follow someone else's timeline, you'd get there and you realize you're not even happy. You didn't do the things you wanted to do. You didn't do it in the way you wanted to do. And so that's why I'm an advocate for set your own timeline. Set your own timeline. Work with God. Find out the roadmap that is for you as a person and go through it. No pressure.
There's something that keeps me going always. Gratitude.
Yeah, very important.
We
need to sing for them. That can't.
Of course, we will sing for them. Definitely, gratitude is a big reliever.
Yeah.
Because no matter how life is going for you, it's either you look back to to your win. When I say look back to the past, to your win, and thank God for that win. Or look for something that's working around you. You are alive. Sometimes I literally will tell God, thank God that I am tall. To the most smallest things, I will tell God, thank God I can eat.
Yeah.
Thank God I can, fat. All of those. So there are things, it might not, it's just between me and God, obviously, and it's big sample, so I can say whatever I want to say on my show. You get?
Show.
You get? So, all of the gratitude is a big reliever. And that brings me to the question I want to throw out at you. What's one tiny win from 2025 that means the world to you? Do not be vague in Jesus' name.
That means the world to me. I feel like 2025 gave me good gifts. Although initially I started by saying, things were shaky. But one day, I always throw jabs at like Christian fashion because every time we say Christian fashion, they'll just go and make a merch and write something. And I'm like, let's do something more, do something creative. But I walked into church that day and someone was wearing a shirt that said, "Dream, God can fund it." And it really blessed
powerful,
me. It really blessed me because I was in a place where I was trying to do things, but I didn't feel like I had the resources to.
Mm-hmm.
And, literally God was saying,
dream, God
write it down.
Can fund it.
God can fund it.
I say again, dream, God can fund it. Please go on.
Yeah, so I saw God do that. I accomplished a lot. This year, I started my book tour.
Okay.
This year, I'm trying to make a film.
Okay.
This year, there's so much. This year, I realized that, love might not be such a bad thing.
Okay. Okay. So my point. So with that point is this: there's somebody in the picture. All of that.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. That's okay. That's a beautiful angle, by the way. And I'm glad that 2025 was actually I'm glad that 2025 is falling in line. And all of that.
And we have 2 months, and there's this thing they always say: a lot can happen in an hour. Then think of 2 months. A lot can happen.
That's like 60 goddamn days.
Yeah.
No cost in Sammy. Did failure ever redirect you to something better?
No, you have to answer that question for them. Yeah.
What's that one tiny thing from 2025 that meant the world to you? I never thought I was going to first go back to school to graduate. It might look very tiny or small, but it was, or even finish round of my NYSC, because that NYSC period was very, very challenging. I was shuffling Lagos and Abuja like every month. I fly in and out of Lagos. You get? And Abuja and all of that. And I sat down one day and I told myself, Sammy, I'll win at 3,000 naira. When you come to Abuja, you Uber from where because I don't drive in Abuja, you Uber from where you are and go to your secretariat, and that literally will take like 30k. So Malawi is 33,000 naira. So I used my Malawi, I go to go and sign. So the math was not math now. I'm like, Sammy, what's going on? This NYSC. And then I go back to life and I tell myself, you're the first son. Your mother really wants you to do this and all of that. Do it for her sake. There were days that I told myself I will not come to Abuja. Like, serious was on this day. I was working in Abuja and all of that. So it was always back and forth. I told myself I was done NYSC, but I just found myself in Abuja.
Yeah.
And God made it happen. So NYSC, rounding up NYSC, was that tiny thing that God did that really, if I look back, I'm actually very excited about.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's such a brilliant landmark, Now you served the nation.
Yeah, I did. I served the nation. Yeah. Did failure ever redirect you to something better?
Yeah, obviously, like I already said.
Yes.
So yes, and sometimes we say something is failure, and it's mostly because we probably were not really seeing what the main plan was. And even if that was the plan and something happened and it didn't work out, it's always a learning curve. So you can always learn to be better in the next thing. So for me, I believe that.
Facts.
There's no such.
If you could write a letter to 2025, if you could write a letter to your 2025 self, what would it say?
If I could write a letter to my 2025 self, the girl at the start of the year, I'd be like, breathe. Life gets better.
How about your 2026 self? To your
2026 self, to my future. Make sure you get it done.
Straight up.
I would not expect it, but
straight up. Make sure you
she needs to get it done.
And like you said, dream, God can
fund it.
So you will get it done. Yeah. So for me, letter to my 2025 and all of that. Hey Sammy, it's November. Guess what? You did it.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually did it. And to my 2026. Hey Sammy, it's 2026. You will do more. Pretty much that and all of that you get. The thing is this, yeah. The year might not be exactly how you want it to be. It might not be as rosy as you expected it to be.
Yeah.
But think about it. You're alive.
Yeah.
Think about it. You only treated malaria once.
Yeah.
Think about it. You have shelter over your head. And even if you don't, there's one thing I want to assure you. It's just a chapter, it's just a phase.
Yeah. It does get better.
It will get better. But first, it starts from within. You have to believe that it will eventually change. If you don't believe it will change or more, you just keep... It's
you know, it's that thing, hope, that keeps you going until you eventually get there. And if you let the candle burn out before you do, then what was the point?
It's courageous to have hope. Yes, that's the word. It's courageous to have hope, because eventually that hope is what fuel your next chapter, your next phase, and your next event. So please keep the hope up.
Yeah.
It's 2025. It's November. We're about to wrap up this episode. So Jazzy, one word for them girls, for them ladies.
Okay, so like I said, my name is Antonietta Kaluta. I am a consent
Family and
awareness.
friends call her Jazzy. So apologies for interrupting you. So go on here.
Yes, family and friends call me Jazzy.
That's me.
I recently wrote a book. It's called She Didn't Say No. It's a sexual consent manual for everyone, especially Nigerians, because I'm a consent awareness ambassador. So I never step on any platform without saying this, that consent is #FGKIA. It's a freely given, knowledgeable, informed agreement by a person with the capacity to reason. Okay. Please always remember in your engagements with people, and we need to talk about consent in non-sexual situations before we move it into sexual situations for easier understanding. Be safe, and remember, my darlings, no pressure. You are whole, you're complete. Singleness does not mean broken.
And to them niggas, to them men, to all the boys out there, find a community, because at the end, they are doing it very well. They have their community. They can communicate. So if you don't have a friend, look for one brother that you can be vulnerable to. There's somebody out there that will have your back. Don't keep it to yourself. Do not die alone. We're all going through the same thing. It's Big Sam Boys, and it's a wrap. Bless. Thank you.